Today, I'm going to explain what are the different categories of the traditional ciphers. Generally, these are the substitution cipher and transposition cipher. In the case of the substitution cipher, what we are doing generally at the time of sending the plain text, we can replace each and every character with some other character. Then we are sending that cipher text. And in the case of the transposition cipher, we are not replacing the characters. Simply, we are exchanging their positions. We change their position of the characters. That is called the transposition cipher. So, in the substitution cipher, a substitution cipher replaces one symbol with another symbol. In the case of the transposition cipher, a transposition cipher reorders the symbol. It is not replacing the symbols. Now come to the substitution cipher. So, as I explained earlier, the substitution cipher replaces one symbol with another symbol. Substitution ciphers can be carried. Generally, these are two types: monoalphabetic ciphers and polyalphabetic ciphers. Generally, the main thing is a substitution cipher replaces one symbol with another symbol. This is very simple. The plain text converted into the cipher text by replacing the each and every symbol in the plain text with other symbol. That's why the attacker, he doesn't know, he cannot convert our cipher text into plain text. So come to the monoalphabetic ciphers. What is in the monoalphabetic cipher text ciphers? In the monoalphabetic substitution, the relationship between the symbol in the plain text to the symbol in the cipher text is always one-to-one. That means, for example, I want to replace the character in the plain text. For example, character A. I wanted to replace the character A with some X, and I want to replace B with H. Like that, I can decide what character is replaced with which character. Which character is replaced with another character. That I can decide. So here, suppose if the same character is repeating in the plain text. For example, character A is repeated in the plain text at other position. There also it is replaced with the character X. That's why this is called one-to-one relation. The symbol in the plain text to a symbol in the cipher text is always one-to-one. Example. See this example. Suppose I wanted to send the message hello. I wanted to send the message hello to the other person. So I want to send the message hello here. Now this is the cipher text KHOOOR. Here what I have done here, H is the character H is replaced with K, and E is replaced, H is replaced with some K, E is replaced with H, and L is replaced with O. Again L is there, it is replaced with O. Then O in the hello is replaced with R. So the cipher text is KHOOR. Suppose if the attacker receives this message, he don't know what is this text. What is it is impossible to convert, otherwise to understand this message. Consider another example. Actually, this is called monoalphabetic substitution, because see the each and every character. Suppose H is replaced with K, E is replaced with H, and L, character L is replaced with O. This L is also replaced with the O. That means the character in the plain text, the relation between the character in the plain text, the character in the ciphertext should be 1-to-1. That's why here we got the two O's here. Since here there are two L's, here there are two O's. Suppose this is another example. It is this is the cipher which is not monoalphabetic. Not this second example shows the example for not monoalphabetic, because here see hello, plain text is hello. This its equivalent ciphertext is ABNZF. That means here H is replaced with A, E is replaced with B, and next L is first L is replaced with N, second L in the hello is replaced with Z, and third next finally O is replaced with F. So see this one, the first L is replaced with N, the second L is replaced with Z. So it is not the 1-to-1 relation. The one character may be replaced with more than one character in the ciphertext. This is called non-monoalphabetic or polyalphabetic substitution. Now come to the additive cipher in the substitution ciphers. Additive cipher is one of the cipher. So additive cipher means here what we are doing here is this cipher is sometimes generally it is called the shift cipher, or also called as the Caesar cipher. Why it is called additive cipher? Because for replacing the characters, first of all we assign some numeric values, numeric integer values to each and every alphabetic character. So here assume the alphabets are from A to Z. A, this is the alphabetic set. Now each character is assigned with some numeric values. Example, A is assigned with 0, next B is 1, C is 2, like that up to we assigned up to 25, 0 to 25 to we assigned 0 integer to 25 to alphabets A to Z. So then at the time of conversion, from plain text to ciphertext, instead of using these alphabetic symbols, I am using the numeric values, its equivalent numeric values, and I can, if I use the numeric values in the place of the alphabets, it is possible to perform some addition operation on the characters, and multiplication operation, subtraction operation, or any operation. I can perform any operation on the characters, because these characters are assumed or assigned with some integers. That's why I can perform any addition or subtraction. I can add, for example, I can add some numeric value to any character. That's why, for example, I can add the numeric value, integer value for the integer value for k is, assume it is 10. Suppose I want to add some 5 to the k. I want to add 5, number 5 to the k. I can add it, because k value is, since k value is 10, its equivalent value is 10. So 10 plus 5 is equal to 15. That means what is the equivalent character for the 15? This is the p. So if I add the numeric value in 5 to the k, I will get the character p. That's why this type of cipher is called additive cipher. Additive cipher means instead of directly using the characters, I can use the integer values which are assigned to the alphabets from 0 to 25. Since these alphabets are 0 to 25, these integers are assumed in Z26. Z26 means all the values should be within 0 to 25 only. This set cannot increase 25. It should not increase 25. That's why these numeric values, all these numeric values, integer values assigned to the alphabets are in the Z26. So residue integer set of modulo 26, its meaning. Now, why it is called shift cipher, why it is called cipher, that I can explain next. Here, see the example. Suppose it is a very simple thing. I want to send some plain text to some other person. For that purpose, at the encryption algorithm, at the encryption process, I can add some key value to each and every character in the plain text. So plain text plus the character in the plain text is added with some key value, which is modulo divided with 26. So modulo divide 26 means, that means this very simple thing. Always we are using modulo 26. Modulo 26 means this is very simple thing. Suppose if I add some value to this character, if it exceeds the 25, then it is rounded. It is rounded to the next integer or its previous integer within the 0 to 25 only. How to get this one? For example, assume if I add, if I am adding some 5 to x, what is the value? X means its numeric value is 23. So 23 plus 5 means actually it is 28. 28 means, but there is no 28 in this series, in this set. That's why x plus 5 means from x to 5 characters, the y, z, then it come back this a, b, c. So this is the x plus 5. X plus 5 should be the c. How to get this one? Suppose if this value is modulo divide with 26, so divide this with 26. What is its remainder? Its remainder is 2. 26 once, 26, the remainder is 2. So what is the equivalent character for the 2? Integer 2, equivalent character for the integer 2 is c. So if after adding any value, any integer value to the plain text character, if it exceeds the 25, then after modulo divide with 26, we will get another integer value within the 0 to 25 set only. For that purpose, always we are using mod 26. So the encryption function uses, or it adds some key value to each and every character to get the ciphertext. At the decryption side, to get the plain text, the key value should be subtracted from the each and every character in the ciphertext. So C minus key. Here I am adding some k value to the plain text to get some cipher text. So here, to get the character from ciphertext to the plain text, I should subtract that k value from the ciphertext. That's why it is the p is equal to c minus k mod 26. Here ciphertext is equal to p plus k mod 26. So when the cipher is additive, if it is this cipher is the additive, the plain text or cipher text are key, all are the integers in Z26. You should remember that one. Now see this example. Suppose I wanted to send the message hello. I want to send the message hello with the key value k value 50. With the k value 50. So first to convert this plain text hello into its cipher text, first what are the actual integers assigned to the each and every character in the plain text. So for example, h, consider the h, its equivalent integer is 7, e, its equivalent is 4. Say just refer this table. For e, its equivalent character is 4. For L, its equivalent character is 11. For L, its equivalent character is again 11. For O, it is 14. So these are the actual integers assigned to these characters. As per our assignment, these are the actual integers assigned to the characters in the plain text. Now, how to convert this plain text into the ciphertext? So here use the key value 15. If I am adding the value integer 15, k value 15 to each and every character in the plain text. For example, for h, what is the value of h? 7. So for 7, I am adding 15. Then I got 22. 22 mod 26 means 22. 22. What is its equivalent character in our assignment? So 22, its equivalent character is W. So it is W. So H, the character H is converted into W. Now, the character E, after adding the 15 to the 4, its value is 19. Mod 26 means 19. Then equivalent character for the 19 is T. Like that, for each and every character, after adding the key values, so we got these characters in the ciphertext. So what is the ciphertext for the word hello? Here the ciphertext for the hello word is W T A and D. So this is the ciphertext that I am sending to the other side person. Now the decryption also, how to decrypt that one, that message? How to decrypt that message? Suppose if the ciphertext is WTAAD and key value is 15. So what are the equivalent characters, equivalent integers of the characters in the ciphertext? So actually for W it is 22. See this reference. For W, its equivalent integer is 22. For T it is 19. For A it is 0. For A it is 0. For D it is 3. Now, to convert these characters in the ciphertext into characters in the plain text, I should subtract the each and every character by 15. So I should subtract 15 from each and every character in the ciphertext. So equivalent character for equivalent integer for 22 is, for W is 22. 22 minus 15 is actually 22 minus 15 is 7. 7 mod 26 means always 7. So what is the equivalent character for 7? For 7, the equivalent character is, for 7 it is 8. Okay. Now this W in the ciphertext is converted into 8. Similarly, T, its equivalent integer is 19. 19 minus 15 is 4. 4 equivalent value is E. So like that, I decrypted this ciphertext into plain text by subtracting key value from the ciphertext. Now, why this is called shift cipher? Why it is called Caesar cipher? Now, historically, additive ciphers are called shift ciphers. And Julius Caesar used an additive cipher to communicate with his officers. For that purpose, this cipher also called as the Caesar cipher. Why it is called shift cipher? If you see at the time of encryption, all the characters I am for converting the plain text into the ciphertext, I am adding that key value to the plain text. Suppose if I add 15 to the 7, I got its character. 15 plus 7 means 22. That means W. So from H to I got the W. From E to T. That means shift up. So after adding, since I am adding the key value to the characters, I will get from this character, I will replace this character with its next character. At the time of decryption, since I am subtracting the key value from that character back to its previous some character, I will get that plain text character. That means it is shift up at the time of conversion, and shift down at the time of convert into the plain text. That's why it is called the shift cipher. Sometimes we also use the multiplicative cipher. In previous example, I explained the additive cipher, but this is the multiplicative cipher. Multiplicative cipher means instead of using the addition operation at the time of encryption, I am using the multiply operation. So the characters in the plain text are multiplied with the some k value. Here I am using the multiplication operation. So here I am multiplying each and every character in the plain text with the key value. At the decryption side, to convert into ciphertext into plain text, I should multiply the character in the ciphertext, the character in the character in the ciphertext with the inverse key. Suppose if I multiply the plain text character with the k, with some k, I should multiply the ciphertext character with its k inverse character. That is only the difference. So here I multiplied the plain text character with the k. Here I multiply the ciphertext character with its inverse key. So since I am using the since I perform the multiplication operation with the key and the multiplication operation with its inverse key, I should use the some specific integers for the keys. So in the multiplication cipher, the plain text and ciphertext are integers in Z26. There is no change in the plain text characters and ciphertext characters. Those characters are the integers in Z26. But the key value, what I am using for k, the key value should be the in Z26 star. That means it is the this is the multiplicative inverse table. Z26 star means it is the multiplicative inverse table. So that contains the integers and its multiplicative inverses. That's why I should use the key value which should be in Z26 star. See this example. For example, first, what is the key domain? What are the key values in the multiplicative integers? Suppose we use a multiplicative cipher to encrypt the message hello. Again, here I want to send the message hello with the k value 7. Okay. Now, here with the k value 7. So, hello is converted into the ciphertext XCZZU. How to get this one? How to get this one? So, before that, see this example. The key domain in Z26, the key domain, that means the key values in Z26 in multiplicative ciphers are, there are only 12 integers. They are 1, 3. The key value, k value should be 1 or 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, like that. There are 12 only. You should not use the k value. Don't use the k value from all the values from 0 to 25. But since that Z26 star contains only 12 integers, the multiplicative integers, inverse integers, that contains only 12 values. So the k value should be these values only. The k value at the time of conversion or at the time of decryption, you should use the k value as 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 or 11 up to these values only, 12 values only. Okay. How to convert this one? Hello. Now, I wanted to send the hello word with the key value 7. See the k value is 7. 7 is in this set. Okay. Now, I want to send the word hello with the key value 7 using multiplicative cipher. Okay. Now, first write its equivalent integers as for our assignment. The h, its value is 7 as per this reference. For E it is 4, for L 11, for O it is 14. Now multiply the each and every character with the what is that one? Key 7. So since H value is 7, now multiply this 7 with the key 7. 7 into 7 is 49. 49 modulo divide with the 26 means it is 23. The remainder is 23. So what is its equivalent character for 23? It is X. So X. Now this H is converted into X in the ciphertext. Similarly, E is, its E value is 4. 4 into 7 is 28. Modulo divide with the 26 means 28 by 26 means the remainder 2. Remainder 2 means C, 2 equivalent value is C. So it is C. It is C. For just here, you have to remember one thing. For the sake of our understanding, the plain text characters are taken as are shown as small letters. The ciphertext characters are shown as the capital letters. Okay. Now this L, what is its equivalent value? 11. 11 into 7 is 77. Mod 26 means 77 mod 26 is 25. What is its equivalent character? 25, its equivalent character is Z. So L is converted into Z. Again Z. And this O is converted into U. So in the multiplicative inverse, by using the multiplicative cipher methodology, the word hello is converted into XCZZU. This is the ciphertext which is received by some receiver. If the attacker is able to access this ciphertext, but he don't know what is XCZZU. He don't know this is the word hello. Suppose if he know this algorithm and we used this multiplicative cipher algorithm and key value is 7, then he will convert that one. but you don't know the key value. That's why this is very secret message. At the time of decryption, what they have done, these are the assume this is the cipher, these are the ciphertext characters, and these are the its equivalent characters. At the time of decryption, you should multiply this 23 with its equivalent multiplicative inverse of the key. That means 7 inverse. Okay, that for that, after that you get this 7, it is converted into H. That is at the decryption side. Now we have one more cipher, that is called affine cipher. Affine cipher is nothing but here just combine additive cipher and multiplicative cipher. The combination of additive cipher, that means in the case of additive cipher, what we have done, adding the key value. In the case of the multiplicative cipher, we multiply the key value with the characters in the plain text. But if we combine both the things, the text, the cipher text is, it is more vulnerable to understand or to attack. So it is the combination of two things. What are the two things? Additive and multiplicative. So see this one. For that purpose, here we should use the two key values. For the multiplication, use one key value. For the addition, use another key. For example, first plain text. With this plain text, multiply the plain text with some k1, that is the t. Then this t is add with some k2. This is the ciphertext. So to get the ciphertext, we have done two operations. First, the plain text character is multiplied with the k1 key value, some key value, and then we get some text. That text is add with another key value. Finally, we got the ciphertext. So here the ciphertext just system is hanged. Just wait. So what we have done in the combined additive and multiplicative ciphers, that is the affine cipher. First, the plain text characters are multiplied with some key value. Then that character, after that character is added with some key value. So some of the each and every character is multiplied with some k value and add with some key value to get the ciphertext value. That's why simply by simplifying these two steps, ciphertext character is equal, the plain text character is multiplied with some k value plus added with another key value. It is modulo 26. Then how to get the plain text? Plain text is equal to, here the same operations. Here the k2 value, the ciphertext is subtracted with the k2, then that character is multiplied with the k1 inverse, so that plain text at the receiver side is equal to ciphertext character is subtracted with K2 into K1 inverse. Example. See this example. The affine cipher uses a pair of keys in which the first key is from Z26 star and the second key is from Z20. That means for adding the key value to additive cipher, that is that integer is any integer from 0 to 26. For multiplying key value, it should be in Z26 star. Okay. Now, example, use an affine cipher to encrypt the text hello with the key value pair 7 2. That means 7 is used for multiplicative cipher, 2 is used for addition. So now assume the equivalent character for H is 7. So with this 7, first I multiplied the 7 with 7, that is the first key. This is the first key. 7 is the H character. H character is multiplied with 7 plus 2 mod 2. That means 7 7 is 49 plus 2 51 mod 26 means its value is 25. 25 equivalent character is Z. Now, so that H is converted into Z. Now, what is the second character? E. Its equivalent character is 4. So 4 into 7. It is first key is 7. So 4 into 7 is 28 plus 2 is 30. 30 mod 26 is 4. So again E. 4 its equivalent character is E. So see this the plain text character is E, and also ciphertext character is also E here. For L character, it is 11. 11 into 7 is 77 plus 2 is 79. Its remainder is 1. That's why it is B. So L character is converted into B. And finally, O character is converted into L. That's why the equivalent ciphertext for hello using affine cipher is this one, ZE. This is the ciphertext for hello, ZE CB double. Now, what are the main substitution methods? Monoalphabetic substitution, and another is the polyalphabetic substitution. So, if it is the monoalphabetic substitution cipher, because additive, multiplicative, and affine ciphers have small key domains, they are very vulnerable to brute force attacks. That means if you use these additive, multiplicative, affine ciphers, the key which is using is very small value. K value is very small value. For addition or subtraction, for addition or multiplying, we are using a small value. That's why the attacker, by using the brute force attack technique, he may try with the different keys, key values. Suppose if the K value is 10, he will, if the K value here, since we are assigning the integers to the alphabets 0 to 25, the K value can be any value between 0 to 25. That means he try with 0 for analyze the ciphertext. Then he try with the K value 1. Then he try with K value 2. Like that he will try all the possibles. Then he will get the some last final plain text. That's why a better solution is to create a mapping between each plain character and the corresponding ciphertext. Here, as like in the previous case, don't assign the integers from 0 to 25 to each and every alphabet A to Z. But here, both the sender and receiver in the communication has some agreement on the mapping of the characters in plain text and ciphertext. They have some agreement. For example, here is one of the agreement is if the both sender and receiver have the agreement on this plain text mapping, on this character mapping. So A is, they have some understanding. So A is converted into some n, B is substituted with 0, C can be substituted with A. Like that, each and every character has a separate mapping character. Separate mapping. For example, O is mapped with Y, or Z is mapped with W. So here see the each and every character has a separate mapping. There is no sequence. There is no pattern here. This is in a zigzag manner. So A is mapped with some character. B is this is the agreement between the sender and receiver. So I am sending. Suppose if both parties are having the agreement that the H character is mapped with some X, otherwise some E character is mapped with Z, like that. Based on that agreement, at the time of plain text, they convert the plain text into ciphertext. At the time of decryption, they convert same map, by using same mapping, they convert into the plain text. So here the chances is very less to the attacker to understand or to analyze the ciphertext. For example, see this example. We can use the key in the figure and encrypt the message. Suppose I wanted to send this message. This is the message text I want to send. This message is easy to encrypt but hard to find the key. So assume this is the plain text. What is its ciphertext? Based on the agreement of characters mapping between the plain text character and ciphertext character. So now first character is in plain text is T. T is substituted with, what is the mapping character? I. So T is substituted with I. What is another character? H. H is substituted by C. The next character is I in the plain text. I is with F. Next is S. S is substituted with V. Like that, the each and every character, for each and every character, we have a separate mapping character. So by using this table, I substituted, I replaced the each and every character in the plain text with the characters mapped with the ciphertext. So this is the ciphertext. This is the ciphertext. That means secret message for this plain text. For this plain text. Now, polyalphabetic cipher means in the polyalphabetic substitution, each occurrence of a character may have a different substitution. A relation between a character in the plain text to a character in the ciphertext is one to many. That means the same character is substituted with different characters in the plain text. That means one character can be replaced with more than one character in the ciphertext. That's the relation is one to many. That's why it is called polyalphabetic cipher. For example, character A, assume a character A can be enciphered as D in the beginning of the text, but it is enciphered as N at the middle. That means the character A is substituted with D at the beginning. The same character is substituted with N at the middle. That means one character is mapped with more than one character. That's why it is called polyalphabetic cipher. So one of the example for the polyalphabetic cipher is auto key cipher. Auto key cipher. This is one of the example for polyalphabetic cipher. So what is the advantage of polyalphabetic cipher? So the main advantage is it is hiding the letter frequency. Letter frequency. It is one of the advantage. So see this auto key cipher. In the auto key cipher, assume the plain text characters are P1, P2, P3. The ciphertext characters are C1, C2, C3. So here I am using the set of keys, not only the single key. I am using the set of keys for converting the plain text character, each and every plain text character into the ciphertext character, I am using these set of keys. So example, this is the relay, this is the encryption. So CI, that means I means first character, second character, third character. That is. So CI character is equal PI character plus KI. PI character plus KI, mod 26. That means for each and every character, for converting each and every character, I am using a separate key value. At the time of decryption also, subtracting this K value from KI value from each character in the ciphertext, CI. See this example here. Assume that Alice and Bob are both the sender and receivers agreed to use an auto key cipher with initial key value. Initial key value is K1 is 12. Now Alice wants to send Bob the message, attack is today. What is the plain text? Attack is today. Enciphering is done character by character. For example, attack A, T, T, A, C, K is today. Attack is today. Now it's plain text. What is the plain text value, integer value? It is 0. T's value is 19. This is the normal integers from 0 to 26. This is normal assignment. Now this A is, its key value is 12. Its initial key value is 12. Its ciphertext is M. T, its ciphertext is, its equivalent character is T. For this T, it is M. So here change. For this T, the ciphertext character is capital T. For this T, the ciphertext character is capital M. Like that, this is the, so this is the equivalent ciphertext for this plain text, the attack is today. So this has to be done using polyalphabetic substitution. Now come to the second category of the cipher method, that is the transposition cipher. So what is in the, what we are done in the transposition cipher here, we are not replacing any character. That means we are using the same characters of the plain text in the ciphertext, but we are going to change their order. We are going to change the position of the characters. That means just change the position of the each and every character. One character, for example, one character, the position of one character is changed to the 8th position, or position of second character is changed to the 10th position. So like that, just by changing the position of the characters, I converted the plain text into ciphertext. That's why the transposition cipher does not substitute one symbol for another symbol. Instead, it changes the location of the symbols. For example, a symbol in the first position may appear in the 10th position in the cipher. A symbol in the 8th position may appear in the first position of the cipher. So here, that's why a transposition cipher is just it reorders the symbols. So it is very, very important thing. In the case of the transposition cipher, all the ciphertext contains all the characters of the plain text, but the order of the characters are changed from plain text to ciphertext. That's why this is called transposition cipher. Now, these are two types: keyless transposition cipher and key transposition cipher. Keyless transposition means this is the simple transposition cipher which were used in the past. These are keyless. Keyless, they are very simple. For example, see this example. For example, I want to send the message, plain text message, meet me at the park. This is the plain text. This is the actual text I want to send from Alice to Bob. So to send this message, the ciphertext is here. For this plain text, the ciphertext is created reading this pattern row by row. For example, this plain text is written like this. If you write this plain text as like this. Suppose meet M E is here and again E here, two rows. I splitted the each and every character, all the characters in the plain text into two rows. So that is one by one. So this first character is here, second character is here, third is here. So these are the first character, third character, fifth character, seventh character, like that. These are the seventh character, second character, fourth character, sixth character, like that. So suppose if you add, if you combine these letters, first row first follows the second row. That means the the M, E, M, A, T, E, A, K at first, followed by E, T, E, this T, H, P, R. So this is the ciphertext for this plain text. The actual text is this one. Its ciphertext is this one. How we got this one? Very simple. I have divided all the characters into two rows, one by one. So for example, first character is in the first row, second character is in the second row, again third character is in the first row, fourth character is in the second row. Like that I splitted the text row by row. Then I combined, I have taken the first row characters first, then followed by second row characters next. So this is the secret text for this plain text. This is the secret text. So here the ciphertext has, here one thing you have to remember, this ciphertext has all the characters of this plain text. Here this contains all the characters of this plain text here, but the order of the order of the characters is changed in the ciphertext. Another way is Alice and Bob. Example, Alice is sender, Bob is the receiver. Alice and Bob can agree on number of columns and use the second method. So here, if they agree, not the rows, if they agree on the number of columns. So Alice writes the same plain text row by row in a table of 4 columns. Assume we have a table with 4 columns and write the that message. What is that message? Meet me at the park is the plain text message. Just here, the Alice writes the same plain text row by row. For example, this is meet me at ATT at the park. This is the actual plain text is written in row by row within 4 columns. So there are 4 columns. Assume this table has 4 columns. So all the plain text characters are written as row by row. Row by row. Then at the time of reading, at the time of conversion, simply read it column by column. That means at the time of reading, if you read the first column first, the MMTA, the first sequence is this one, next this one, MMTA, then EEHR, then EAEK, like that. So this is the ciphertext. This is the ciphertext. So just that Alice then creates the ciphertext for this meet me at the park is the plain text. Its equivalent ciphertext is this one. By transmitting the characters column by column. Here, what we have done? Very simple thing. First, Alice writes all the characters row by row in 4 columns. But those characters are read as column by column. Column by column. That is the ciphertext. Now the Bob receives this message. How to convert this ciphertext into plain text again at the recipient end? Bob receives that ciphertext. Then he follows the reverse process to get the plain text. That means he arranges these characters into column wise, but read the characters as row wise. Then you will get the plain text. Now, see this example. The cipher in the previous example is actually a transposition cipher, yes, no doubt. Here is one of the example. The following shows the permutation of each character in the plain text in the ciphertext based on the positions. Now, consider the positions based on their positions. So, this is the table which shows the position of each and every character from plain text to ciphertext. Now, assume this M. This M is in first position. In the ciphertext also, this is at the first position. So, the first character is at first character position in the ciphertext. But what is the second character as per our plain text? As per our plain text, the second character is this E. This is the E. This is our second character is the E. But in the case of the ciphertext, what is the position of this second character? Since this is in column by column in ciphertext, this is the fifth character. Simple 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the second character is written as fifth character in the ciphertext. Similarly, the third character E is written as ninth character in the ciphertext. See this? Why this is the ninth character in ciphertext? Because if you check, these columns, this E is at ninth position in column wise. This is 4, first row, first column 4 characters, second column 4 characters, 8 plus this is the ninth character. So likewise, this T is actually fourth character, but in the ciphertext, its position is 3, 4, 12, 13. So this the fourth character's position is 13 in the ciphertext. Again, the fifth character position in the plain text, its position is second character in the ciphertext. So this is the ciphertext and plain text positions. So here is one thing we have to observe. The second character in the plain text has moved to the fifth position in the ciphertext. The third character has moved to the ninth position in the ciphertext. But even though their positions are changed from row to columns, if we observe what is the pattern of the ciphertext, so first 4 characters are 1, 5, 9, 3. Next column is 2, 6, 10, 13. Next is 10, 3, 7, 11, 15. Last is 4, 8, 12. If you observe these two, the difference between any two characters is 4. That means these characters are having some pattern. So if the attacker finds any pattern between the characters in the ciphertext, maybe there is a chance to break that code. That's why we should use keyed transposition. So we should use the keyed transposition ciphers. In the previous case, there is no key value. Simply, we have written the given text as row by row within specific number of columns, but read that characters as column by column. So then that's why there is only one thing. All rows are read as the columns. All columns are read as the rows. There is no key, but if we use the keyed transposition cipher, the keyless ciphers permute the characters by using writing plain text in one way and reading it in another way. That means we have written in row wise, but read as column wise. but the permutation is done on the whole plain text to create the whole ciphertext. Another method is to divide the plain text into groups of predetermined size called blocks. Here also we divide the plain text into some group of characters, that means blocks, and then use some key to permute the characters in each block separately. Here we should use some key value to permute the characters in each block separately. Example. So Alice needs to, example, here is the message, plain text message. Enemy attacks tonight. It is the message Alice wants to send to Bob. Actual plain text is enemy attacks tonight. Now write down this message as 5 characters each. ENEY, enemy, ATTAC, KS, 5 characters each. Divide the plain text into 4 blocks. Each block contains 5 characters. So first 5 characters, second 5 characters, third 5 characters, 4. So there are 4 blocks. Now use some key value, that is the 3, 3, 1, 4, 5, 2 is the key value. 3, 1, 4, 5, 2 is the key value for encryption. So if it is the key value, assume 3, 1, 4, 5, 2 is the key value. Now its meaning is the first character, its meaning is the at first position in the ciphertext is the third character of the plain text. The second character in the ciphertext is first character, that is E. That means at the beginning the first position of the ciphertext is 3. What is 3 in the plain text? This is E. So this is the E. Now this second one specifies the second character in the plain text is first character. The second character in the ciphertext is 1 in the plain text, that is E. Okay. Now this 4 specifies the third position in the ciphertext is 4th character of the plain text. What is 4th character of the plain text? It is M. You should be in third position. Now at 4th position there should be a 5th character. What is 5th character? This comes to this one. Now at the 5th position there should be the second character of the plain text. What is second character of the plain text? N. So this is here. So this E is here. This is here. Like that. So this 3, 1, 4, 5, 2 indicates the first character in the ciphertext is third character of the plain text. The second character of the cipher is first character of the plain text. Third character of the ciphertext is 4th character, like this. Similarly, this is for first block, EMYN. Then for second block also same thing. That means assume this is the ciphertext. The first character of the second block is third character of the plain text. That means this T. The second character of the ciphertext is 1. That means this A. Third character is 4th character. This 4 is here. 4th character is 5. That means it is 5. And fifth character is 2. What is 2? This one. So this is the, what is the permutation key here? For each and every block, 3, 1, 4, 5, 2. Now, at the decryption side also, the same key is used. That means, in the plain text, the first position is, the plain text, the first position is written as third character. The first character of the plain ciphertext is written as third character in the plain text. The second character of the ciphertext is written as first character in the plain text, like this. So here the key value is 31452. Now here we combine the both approaches. What are the both approaches? Encryption or decryption is done in three steps. For the transposition, keyed transposition. So if we combine the both previous approaches, so here encryption or decryption is done in 3 steps. First step is, our text is written in row by row. Row by row. Our text is written as row by row. Then permutation is done by reordering the column. That means after writing the entire text into row by row, then just reordering the each and every columns. In the third step, in the new table is read column by column. But so there are 3 steps. Write the entire text in row by row, then reorder the columns in that table, then read that table as column by column. This is the example. Now see this example. Alice, she wants to send enemy attacks to night. Actually, just write this message row by row in 5 columns. So enemy, ENEMY, attack, CK, attacks to night, GHT. So add some other character, padding character at the at a blank place. I have added Z here. So the entire message is written as row by row, 4 rows, 5 columns. 4 rows, 5 columns. Now, so this is the first step. The entire column is, the entire text is written as row by row, row by row. Then using this key, I have reordering the columns. That means, what is the first column? This is the first column. This is the second column. This is third column, fourth column, fifth column. So I have the 5 columns. So now reorder these columns using this key. What is this key? What is that key? 31452. That means the first 3 indicates, what is the third column here? This is the third column. This can be placed at first. This can be placed as first column. Now, this one indicates the one column is placed at second position. The one column is written as second column. Now, this indicates the fourth column is written as third column. This is the fourth column. This is written as third column. Just I have exchanged the columns like that. The second column is written as fifth column. The second column is written as fifth column. So as per this key, third column is go to the first column. First column is go to second column. Fourth column to third column. Just I exchanged. I changed the column positions. Fifth column come to the fourth column and second column come to the fifth column. Now, after the rearranging the columns, this is the text. Now read this text column by column. So ETTH first, ETTH, then EAKI, then MAOT. So read these characters column by column. So this is the ciphertext for this plain text. This is the plain text. This is the ciphertext. So what we have done, first write these characters, all these characters row by row. Then by using this key, just reordering the columns. That means the third column becomes first column. Otherwise, first column becomes second column. Fourth column becomes third column. Like just like I reordering these columns. Then read these characters column by column. So this is the ciphertext. At the decryption also, the recipient side, they have received this ciphertext. This is the ciphertext. Now they have done in reverse process the same thing. First, these data is written as column by column. This data, all these characters are written as column by column, column by column. Then using this key, this first column is go to the third column in the plain text. Then this second column is go to as first column as per this one. Third column is as fourth column. Fourth column is as fifth column. And fifth column is as second column. So fifth column is second column. So by using this key, all these columns are all these columns are reordered using this key. Then finally read this data row by row to get the plain text. So ENEMY ATTACKSTO on tonight, then chat. This is the finally plain text. So in the previous example, a single key is used in two directions for the column change. Downward for encryption, upward for the decryption. For example, for the encryption, the key is 31452. 31452. That means first three indicates it in the ciphertext it becomes as first column. The one is come to the second position. 4 is come as third position, like this. In the reverse also, at the decryption side, the first one is moved to the third column. The first one is moved as third column. Sorry. This indicates this one. At first position, second column is moved. At second position, fifth column is moved. At third position, first column is moved. For the fourth column, third column is moved. For fifth column, fourth column is moved. So 25135 is the decryption key. So the same key is used in reverse as decryption key. So how to get this key inverse? How to get this 25134. Actually, this is the actual our key value 31452. This key is used at decryption. What is the decryption key? 25134. How to get this one? By using the key inversion in a transposition cipher. So 2631475 is the encryption. Assume this is the encryption key. 2631457. Now write down their position, add the index, then swap the indexes and swap these indexes and the values. That means values are come to here, indexes are come to in the table. Okay. Then sort these values. Sort these values. What are those values? Sort these values. That means what is the based on this one? Sort this one. This one. Here is 1. So it is at first position. Here is 2. So this is at second position. Here is 3. This is at third position, like this. So this is the, if we have a key, we will get the inverse key in 3 steps. Inverse key in 3 steps. For that purpose, what are the key used at encryption, or key is used as the encryption key. To get the decryption key, first write down the encryption key in the table and add the indexes 1 to their position. For this table, these are the indexes. Swap the indexes and the values. Then sort these values based on this index. This is first, this is second, like that. Then finally, this is the decryption key. Now using matrix, the same transposition cipher can be obtained using the matrices. In the case of the encryption decryption process, we are using the matrix format. The plain text here, the plain text and ciphertexts are assume some L into M matrices with which those matrices are containing the character values. Assume the plain text has some matrix, the ciphertext is some matrix which contains the values of the characters. And here the key is taken as, it also written as one matrix that should be the M into M size matrix. Suppose the plain text matrix is L into M, then there we should use a key matrix that should be M into M size matrix. And the key matrix contains the each and every row or column of the key matrix should contains exactly only one, and remaining all are the zeros. See here, assume this is the plain text. This is nothing but as per our integers assignment to the alphabet, meet what is that one? Attack. What is our plain text? As for example, our plain text is enemy attack. Enemy attacks tonight. E is the first character. So E, its equivalent integer value. N, its equivalent value is 13. Then E again 4. Like that. These are the character values as per our integer assignment. This is the ciphertext. These are also integer values assigned to the characters. Now this is the key. What is the key here? 31452. 3 means in this column the third position is 1. Since the secondary key value is 1, in this column first is 1. Since it is 4, fourth one is 1. Since it is 5, the fifth one is 5. Since it is 2, it's 5. This is the encryption key. Now, the decryption key is also this one. See the decryption one. What is the decryption? Where is 1 at second position? So, decryption is 2. Here it is 5. Since it is 1 here, then it is 1. This is the decryption key. Then it is 3. Then it is 4. 2, 5, 1, 3, 4 is the decryption key. Now to get encryption or decryption, encryption here multiplies plain text matrix with the key matrix. For the encryption, multiply for the encryption. Simply multiply the plain text matrix with the key matrix. This is the ciphertext matrix. For converting ciphertext into plain text also, we multiply the ciphertext with its inverse key matrix to get the plain text. Here the inverse key matrix is nothing but the transposition of the transposition of this one is the inverse key matrix. So to get the ciphertext, multiply plain text with the key matrix. To get the plain text, multiply the ciphertext with the inverse key matrix. So this is the transposition cipher. So what we have done in a substitution cipher or transposition cipher, for sending the plain text to some other place, some other person, we have to change, we have to convert that plain text into some secret text that should not be understood by the other person. That's why by using some substitutions, by performing some permutations, some rotations, by replacing the characters, I have changed the entire plain text into some secret text. That is the ciphertext. At the decryption or recipient end also, whatever we have done in at the sender side, the same process have to be done in reverse at the recipient side to get the plain text.